Now, you might notice I have 2 holes in the back of this box. This is a mistake. And instead of buying a new piece of wood, I decided I'm just going to live with it, and I'll plug it. It's going to be in the back of the speaker. Nobody's ever going to see it. It's going to be covered up with veneer anyway. So, Bondo, baby, Bondo. Alright, where's our... Think that's enough? That should be plenty.
Yeah.
That ought to be plenty of hardener. And we'll give it a squirt for good measure. Just a squat. You may be wondering why I'm using Bondo to fill the cracks on these speakers. I wasn't happy with the way the finish turned out on the plywood. I had a lot of tear out of the edges. Not sure if I was just using the wrong type of plywood, or if my saw blades weren't sharp enough, or maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. But long story short, this plywood didn't have really thick layers like normal Baltic birch does. And I ended up kind of tearing out the layers of the plywood, so it just wouldn't have had a good finish. So I've decided to use veneer. It's still going to be a birch finish, so it'll still look the same. It'll just be covered up in veneer, so you won't be able to see all the mistakes I made. So now I have to cut this sheet of veneer, and I don't have a workspace big enough to do it, so here I go. I don't think I'm really going to pay attention to the grain. So this is a 2-ply. It's got a backer, and then this is the actual veneer side, which is I believe it's birch to match my cabinet. And this gives me enough that I'll have some overlap. Go on, ants, get out of here. He wants to go this way, okay. Okay, so here we are again. We're going to do 9 inches for the side pieces, and 1 strip should get me both sides. It's actually front and back of the speakers. I only need to do the backs because the fronts are going to have the cherry, so I just need 2 pieces. So that's what I'm going to do now. So we're going to do, it's 8.5, we're going to do 9 inches. Off. Okay. Okay, so don't do what I do because I've never done this before, but from what I've heard, you use regular wood glue, you put it on both sides, wait till it dries, and then you put your veneer on and you use an iron and you iron it on. Okay? Okay, we're gonna try it. Apparently you can use yellow or white wood glue to do this. It's got to be, I guess, PVA, which I guess this is. I don't know. My plan is to roll it on there. Bobble is irritating me. I guess I'd rather have a little too much than not enough. I think we're probably okay. Looks like a decent coat. Alright. Now we do probably could clean it with something, but these things are like $7 for 2 of them. That's crazy. Yeah, I think, well, maybe we'll get this on quick enough we can reuse it. I don't know. We'll see. So the plan here is to let this dry until it's not tacky anymore. Another method to do this is with wood glue, or rubber cement, basically, contact cement. The issue with that is you have to get everything lined up just perfectly, because if you've ever used rubber cement, you know that once it starts to stick, that's it, you can't peel it up. The advantage to this method is, once this is dry, you can slide this around wherever you want. Once you get it in place where you want it, then you use the iron to basically make it stick. Okay, so we're going to see if we can get this lined up. Let's get the iron on. Alright, how do you look?
Just a hair over on the end.
That's enough. Okay, and now our iron is hot. And this also, it's ironing it and it's getting it flat and straight at the same time. I don't know how hot this is supposed to be, but think another option would be to use some like parchment paper, so that way you're not going the iron directly on your wood, like dirtying it up or anything. I don't know how long you're supposed to do this for. Guess we can just go real slow. It feels like it's on there. I'm kind of pressing and sliding at the same time. I think it's on there. I guess the edges could be a little better, huh? Maybe I didn't use enough glue. Feels like I had a little lift up right here on this edge. There's a few little bubbles. I wonder if I didn't use enough glue. Well, I don't know. We're gonna try it. We're gonna see if it works. Maybe we use a little bit more glue on the other side. Okay, so the plan today is to finish putting the veneer on. One of the issues I had with the ironing method, and I don't know if I was getting the iron too hot or exactly what was going on. The edges would kind of start to peel up a little bit. So, you know, they'd stick down. I'd use the iron, it would get hot, the glue would melt, and then it would start to lift. So I watched another YouTuber's video who's making a set of speakers, and what he did was after he went over them with the iron, he kind of chased it with a rag in his finger and just make sure that the edges were really stuck. So I did that, and so far I'm happy. The only spot I see right here, you can see this looks pretty good all the way down. This side looks good. Here, right here. So what I'm gonna do is just take a little swab, just stick a little bit of glue in there and squeeze that on real quick. And then after I do that, I'm gonna do the back of this speaker, get this one done, and then we'll start on the other one. There should already be glue on this edge, so I could probably just take my iron and iron it on. I do have my iron heating up. So I think I'll just let that dry, then I'll use the iron and stick it real good. I think it's also beneficial to scuff up your surface. So I'm gonna go over this with 80 grit sandpaper. That is just wide enough. Put our handy dandy board back up here.
see how we look. Now this is how the other one was supposed to be. We got plenty of extra. Just try to roll it, get it a little bit more compliant. I don't know that that's really gonna do anything. Helps a little bit. Some people use a brush, but I think a roller works fine. Definitely want to make sure you get enough on the edges, because to me that seems to be the most problematic area. The nice thing about this wood glue is it's water soluble, so last time when I finished up, I just ran that underwater. I was able to save my foam. Now, one thing I will say is be careful not to get glue on your veneer surface if you can help it, because you're just going to be cleaning it up later. Now, in our case, this veneer is pretty thick, so I do have some room for error as far as, you know, sanding. But if you're working with really thin stuff, I mean, basically what you got is what you got. So okay, let's grab a rag and see if we can and we'll give these about 20 minutes, half hour to dry, and come back and stick them down. We have to glue the ends, and that'll be it for the veneer. So let's get going. So far, this method seems to be working okay. one of the issues I've been having, the iron gets the glue hot and it starts to melt it once, because you let it dry and then you use the iron to heat it up again. But some of the pieces lift up and they don't stick back down. I feel like ideally you would still kind of press it with something, like clamp it, even after you've ironed it. Well, I don't know. Again, I don't know what I'm doing here, so. Gotta say, I'm pretty pleased. There's my corners. All in all, I'm pretty happy. Feels pretty darn good. There's my other one. Maybe not quite as good, but it's gonna be just fine.